Humus is often described as the gold of the soil world. It's what every healthy ecosystem quietly produces on the forest floor: black, crumbly, nutrient-rich matter that holds water like a sponge and feeds plants slowly over time. Most gardeners think it takes years to make, but with the right materials, conditions, and a little biological understanding, it's possible to mimic nature's process and produce rich black humus in as little as 3 weeks, without a compost bin or turning a single pile. This guide explains how to achieve exactly that, using nothing more than fresh-cut grass, water, and soil contact. It's not just composting, it's a soil-building method that unlocks the microbial engine hiding beneath your feet. When managed properly, it can transform poor, gray, lifeless soil into dark, humified earth faster than most people believe possible. Fresh green grass clippings are one of the most overlooked yet powerful organic resources for soil building. They contain everything microbial life needs to kickstart decomposition: high moisture content, nitrogen, sugars, and even trace minerals pulled up from the subsoil. When layered correctly, grass clippings act as a fast-decaying biofuel for the soil. The method is simple. Instead of composting grass separately, you apply it directly on top of your soil as a mulch layer, ideally in thin sheets, not thick clumps. This ensures even breakdown, oxygen availability, and rapid microbial colonization. But to convert this mulch into humus, not just temporary compost, you need to manage moisture and allow nature to do the rest underground. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make when using grass clippings is piling them too thick or letting them dry out too quickly. Without moisture, microbial life slows down. The result is a smelly mat, or even worse, a crust that prevents air and water from reaching the soil. To accelerate humification, you need consistent moisture, not soggy but damp like a wrung-out sponge. Before applying your grass layer, water the soil thoroughly. Then, spread a thin 1 to 2 inch layer of grass clippings. Water lightly again to settle the layer and prevent dry crusting. Repeat this process every few days as more clippings become available. What happens next is invisible to the eye but dramatic at the microbial level. Soil bacteria, fungi, and actinomycetes begin digesting the clippings from below. Earthworms are drawn in, feeding on the decaying layer and dragging residues into the subsoil. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, the layer darkens from green to brown to black. The clippings lose their identity and merge into the topsoil, stabilized, humified, and biologically active. Humus isn't just rotted plant material, it's actually the final, stable state of organic decomposition. When grass breaks down, it first becomes compost, active, warm, and microbially rich. But compost still changes. Its carbon is still volatile. For true humus to form, decomposition has to go one step further. Microbial residues must recombine into large, stable carbon molecules that really resist decay. These molecules bind to clay particles and form soil aggregates. This process, called humification, is driven by fungi, earthworms, and actinobacteria. The key here is minimal disturbance. If you're constantly turning or exposing the decomposing layer to air, you end up speeding up oxidation but slowing down humus formation. That's why this method works best when left alone, covered, damp, and undisturbed. It mimics what forests do. They drop leaves and grass-like detritus, which decomposes slowly into the forest floor, creating a rich, fungal-dominated humus layer that feeds plants for decades. After about 3 weeks, go ahead and check the soil beneath your mulch layer. If the transformation has gone well, you'll notice dark, rich soil where the grass used to be. It should have an earthy smell, definitely not sour. The texture will feel crumbly and cool to the touch. You might spot earthworm castings or even threads of white fungal mycelium. Both are excellent signs that things are working just right. The key difference between regular compost and humus is, honestly, all about stability. Compost is still, cooking. Humus, on the other hand, is done. It doesn't shrink or really change much over time. Its carbon is locked up in forms that aren't attractive to those fast-feeding bacteria anymore. And that, right there, is what makes humus such a powerful tool in soil regeneration. It sticks around. This technique isn't just for a compost pile or a single corner of your garden bed. You can scale it up across raised beds, no-dig gardens, or even on those tired, degraded fields. The principle stays the same. Lay down fresh organic material in manageable layers, water it well, and keep it covered with straw, cardboard, or even shade cloth to help lock in that moisture. Over time, this becomes a permanent system. Each season adds another layer of decay. Each layer feeds the soil life below. The result is soil that no longer needs digging or external inputs. Just ongoing organic matter and, well, a little patience. To speed up humification, consider sprinkling a thin layer of aged leaf litter or native forest soil over your clippings before you water them in. These materials contain fungi and decomposer microbes already adapted to breaking down cellulose and lignin. Think of them as your microbial starters, like sourdough for the soil. If earthworms aren't present, you can introduce them manually, or just provide decaying food under the mulch to attract them. Their role in humus creation is, honestly, critical. Not only do they mix the organic layer into the mineral soil, but their castings are rich in stable carbon and plant-available nutrients. If you want to build real humus without machines, bins, or endless turning, this method really works. It's clean, scalable, and biologically aligned. Grass clippings and water are often treated as waste, but together, they're a shortcut to building resilient, dark, fertile soil. The beauty of this process is that it teaches patience, it encourages observation, and it produces a growing medium that's far superior to anything that comes in a bag. Humus doesn't just feed plants, it transforms ecosystems from the ground up. If you found this guide valuable, help us spread real soil education by subscribing to Soil Doctor, sharing this video with fellow growers, and leaving a comment about your humus-making experiments. Because every gardener deserves to know that building humus isn't just for forests. It can happen right where you stand.